Welcome to Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update. It is a great way to start the year coming here for our Mission Monday Update because we are here every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central. So glad to have you all joining us and catching up on everything. So this is the point where I'm normally introducing Brian. Brian Gibson is our founder and president, and he is not here tonight. He's not able to be, which is fine. That's what we do. We take care of things. And that's what a team does. As I've heard him say, I'm going to say a million times over, I'm not too far from exaggerating there. Teamwork makes the dream work. And that is something that is huge, that we need to work together because working together works. And that is how we're going to grow this mission. There is a lot. When you look back at 2024 and where we've all come, where the year started, where we are now, how many veterans have joined in the breakfast that happens on the first Wednesday of the month, currently in Paducah, Kentucky, and hopefully spreading other places in the near future. It's huge. Lives are being changed, touched, enhanced, helped. All sorts of good things are happening. And when we look ahead here to 2025, there's a lot that's coming down the road here, entering into what's going on with Project Die Hard. And again, it takes a team. And you know what? We've got one of our wonderful friends of Project Die Hard joining us tonight. The lovely Miss Debbie Hayes is joining us. I want to go ahead and bring her on in here so she can tell us a little bit more about who she is. Debbie, how are you tonight?
I'm great. Thanks, Sue. How are you doing?
I'm great.
You're the
Crazy
boss.
as usual, but great.
Sue the boss.
Actually, the boss is by my feet right now. Minnie is soaking in all the love right now. And you know a lot about pets, don't you?
I do. Thank you. Yes. And I would like to invite everybody who listens to this to join my channel. It's on a platform called The Great Discovery. The information will be there in the chat. So I have a channel community. It's just starting, and it's called Pets and Animals, as you will see from the sign-in. So there's free option, and there are some paid options also. And should be. I'm stressing out a little bit here because it's not totally done, but it should be done with all the bells and whistles listed and so forth. By this time next week, for sure, hopefully sooner. So I would appreciate your support with getting on there, and that would make you a free learner on the Great Discovery, so you can download anything that they have. That is the free option, but we appreciate that support. So I also do at World of Pets podcast. That is on YouTube, live on Tuesday evening at 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And more than happy to have you join that. Most people actually go in later and catch up with what we've been talking about. A variety of guests talking about things pets. And I also promote immune support for pets and for people. That's how I started with the pet business. But I do want to talk about Project Die Hard for a minute. Did you want to ask me questions, Sue, or do you want me to just go ahead?
I'd say go ahead. You know inside out what we're all got going on here, and I just go right ahead. I'll ask questions as I have them here.
Okay. So I've made some contributions to Project Die Hard. I really care about nonprofits. I care about nonprofits for a variety of topics, but especially for veterans suicide, veterans homelessness. So I have made some monetary contributions, And I do live in southern Arizona. So the other day, I don't know what made me think of it, but I'm just going, Brian's always talking about how he wants to have a operating base, FOB, in every state. And I'm thinking, well, in Paducah, Kentucky, they started with the monthly breakfast. So that's something that I think I can take on. As far as taking on more than that, as far as a physical facility and all that, I think that might be above my pay grade. But the breakfast, I think I can handle. Well, I've been thinking about some influencers that I thought would be interested or might be able to point me to some people that would be as far as financing the breakfast. Brian put me in touch with Dave for Project Die Hard, who is coordinating the breakfast events. And so we are moving forward with that. And I said to Brian the other day, I'm like, I'm all of a sudden thinking of Tucson, Arizona, and I'm like, eek. Um, I think it's a little bit bigger than Paducah, Kentucky. So, so I think it's gonna might result in some challenges that Paducah would not see because plus we have an Air Force base here, so we have a lot of veterans that come back to this area because when they're stationed here, they fall in love with the weather. Um, so yeah, I think that we could make an impact here. So I'm looking forward to moving forward with that. So if you're in southern Arizona and you're listening to this, um, please get in touch with me or get in touch with Brian or Sue, who will let you know how to get in touch with me so that you can contribute however you want. So they're at an IHOP because there is a connection there to the home office, and so we're not even at that point yet. It was the holidays, and Dave just called and left a message and said, "I'll be calling you back after the holidays." So he'll be calling. We'll be finding out from the IHOP people whether they're going to assign us to a specific store. How I don't even know how that works yet. I'm assuming that the manager of the particular of that location has to be on board with it. So
I think that'd be my understanding too. It would be something along those lines where if the manager's on board, then things move. And I am so happy to hear that things are moving forward. And you're right. You know what? The good thing with there being a military base there and the population that has in the area there having so many veterans, that could be perfect. Could be a little overwhelming at first, possibly.
I'm thinking more
However,
myself.
imagine the support that might come in at like that, though.
True, but yes, and I agree with that exactly. But think about the fact that on their most populated days in Paducah, Kentucky, they have 50 50 people coming to the breakfast. I mean, it's not every month that many, but all of a sudden I'm going, oh my gosh. I mean, in the county and the county, the most populous part of the county is Tucson and the immediate areas is 1 million people.
That could be a few.
So yeah,
Well, there'll be a pass the hat in the midst of that. Take donations when the events happen, and I'm excited. This is perfect.
I'm wondering how you fit people in there. I mean, I don't know what your average, how many people your average IHOP seats at any one time, but they're not really huge restaurants.
I think the one in Kentucky where they are currently going, I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood. No, I hope I'm not making this up. I thought the number I had in my head for that location was like 500 was maxing out the restaurant. That doesn't seem like it could be right. I've got to be smaller than that.
Because
That's in my head.
I think they're all the same.
Are they?
mean,
Okay.
You know, I mean,
Google's my friend. Let me see if I can find something.
yeah, common for a franchise to have them be all the same. And yeah, and I know they're not 500. I can't tell you how many they are, but the ones around here are not, would not seat 500 people at a time. So you see where I'm going as far as being a little panicky. Excuse me. But anyway, but panicked but excited.
So I'm actually over on Google just seeing if I can come up with it really quick, because you never know. There's a lot of information you can find when you just do quick searches. However, maximum seating might not be one of the ones. We'll find out here in just a sec. Let's see. I've got there. Okay, now it's just making me hungry because I haven't had supper yet, and they're showing me pictures of amazing food.
Yeah.
I love Cup. Maybe it's one of the frequently asked questions. Let me just peek on here real quick. So what is it that got you interested in doing things with veterans?
Just, I think that veterans sacrifice so much for us. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer and promoter in freedom and liberty, and the fact that they do so much for us, and leaving their families. Many of them have young children. Many of them give their lives, and we really need to take care of them. When I was in high school and college was Vietnam days, so there was a different atmosphere than there is now for the military, for the most part. So that I guess I would say that needs to be made up for, because we not I hope that wasn't one of me, but I mean that wasn't me, but I know some people were not appreciative of what the military did. And when you think about it, the rank and file are doing what they're told to do. They may feel that it's right, and they may feel that the brass is misled and doing the wrong thing, but they still follow orders. So they need to be rewarded and taken care of.
Yeah, I completely agree, because it's something that, to me, it's when it's not something right in front of us, we don't really think about it so much. If you don't know somebody, if you don't have a friend or a family member who is in the military or was, I think it gets overlooked, which is ridiculous. I mean, years ago, that was not the case, right? Everybody knew people in the military. And nowadays, not as much. And if you don't have that personal connection, it can be really hard to relate and hard to know enough to have a good opinion,
Yeah. When I'll tell a story, hopefully I won't tear up too badly, but my mother told me this one time. My father never did. When they first got married, World War II was right around the corner, and everybody wanted to enlist then. I mean, you hear about that, and it's true. And so my father enlisted, and my mother told me one time that he did not have to be deployed overseas because he got a hernia, and the rest of his company did not make it back.
Wow.
I don't know if that was true to the person or if it was a majority of them, but Like I said, my father never talked about it. My mother told me one time.
That's amazing, and a harsh reality that kind of thing happened, and then you're like, "Okay, why me? Why how did this oh, then all the questions, all the things, and wow, there was a reason, and we're glad he's here."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I know my dad was in the military way back. He was stationed in Okinawa, and I know bits and pieces, but I know he wasn't directly part of anything wartime, but he was on the fringe of that timing. But I honestly, I've not heard much. I remember, I think when I was on my way to, move down to college, I remember him telling me a few stories then, and, that was a couple years ago. Eh, but other than that, I haven't heard much. I mean, it's just not a topic of conversation, And
Right.
I know he recently came across, well, sometime in the last year or so, he come across some pictures because he used to love taking pictures. He was very good at capturing, and whenever he travels, he likes to be able to do that. And
Hmm.
I got to see some pictures of where he was, and it was fun to hear at least bits and pieces about what he saw at the time too, because things were it was so different. It was a different time. And yeah, it's good to hear all those, and just yeah, sometimes it doesn't come up in conversation, and maybe it should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have no idea unless you've been there. I mean, I've not served, so
No, me
I
neither.
other than what people have shared, and grateful for what people have shared.
Hmm.
So, but I do want to bring it back around. I know you mentioned about what you have available on the Great Discovery. I know that's a website that has some educational information. You want to tell us a little bit more about that? Because I've heard a lot of people haven't heard of it yet.
Yes. So the Great Discovery is a content creators platform, but it also has an affiliate program with it. So it is for people who would like to put content out there. And I'll tell you what got my attention about it when I first learned about it. I mentioned that I do promote immune support product, which is driven by a medicinal mushroom. As I tell my networking groups, not one that'll get you high. So if you want to get high, you have to go elsewhere. But I thought, wow, this is a platform that I can use to get word about that mushroom out. And I do have a free course on the platform, which is just what is all the hype about mushroom supplements. And it basically says, okay, if you're interested in mushroom supplements, then take a look at these, but don't take a look at these. And that's um, not by manufacturer, just by the type of mushroom that it is and things like that. So I don't want to tell about it because I want people to go there. And so you can find it if you look around on the Great Discovery under content creators, Debbie Hayes. And then there's another one that's $4.99. You have to dig deep in your pockets for that. And it is actually very detailed about this specific mushroom that is the driving force in these immune products. So that one is called The Power of the Coriolis versicolor. Um, but those two are on there. So I wanted that. But what really tugs at my heart, because it's it's not just veterans, it's like victims of trafficking. And my husband, for example, died of Alzheimer's. So I'm thinking about writing one that talks about his and my Alzheimer's journey. But the idea that we can get something that can be translated, because there is a language translation feature. So how wonderful would it be if we could get somebody, or more than one somebody's, that were telling their child trafficking or adult trafficking stories, and be able to share some things with people that would help them be more aware and maybe, save them from that agony, um, and be able to get it to translate it into languages where maybe the culture really doesn't encourage people knowing about that. But through the great discovery, people can hear those stories. And the same thing with veterans, and having some stories with veterans that could also help other veterans stay away from what they found were the pitfalls of, the suicide or homelessness, just even dealing with PTSD. We've done quite a bit because I do the podcast also, um, and we've done a few sessions on service dogs, um, because there are some sources that you can get a service dog that you don't have to pay the mega bucks. Like, and I'm not saying that those people shouldn't be charging that, but some people really can't afford to pay that or can't afford to finance it. So we want to be able to give people options. So that's another thing is the service dogs, and they can do so much. Tomorrow night I'm going to have a fella on. He's been on several other times, and he's sort of a confusing story, but he's moved from one state to another state, so he's looking for somebody to finish his training for his service. But that dog is going to be able to tell him when he needs to take his medication, or if he drops it because he has back issues, if he can, pick it up off the floor, if he drops the medication and hand it to him, things like that. But I would have never really thought.
It is amazing what our wonderful canine friends can be taught to do, and how they can be real miracle workers in our lives. It's absolutely amazing. I've got a really good friend who just got his service dog approved, has been working with him for the last month now, and I think it was just about a week ago that they went through their final testing and now have all their certifications in place and is ready to go. And what a world of difference for him. The friend that we have, he's a wheelchair user. He can't do things like open a refrigerator door by himself. He's not able physically to do that. The dog can really easily. The dog can. I've actually watched a video of him doing the commands and doing all the things, having the dog open the door, grab a water, bring the water to him. I mean, like, oh my gosh, that seems like a pretty simple thing, right? You need a bottle of water out of your fridge, shouldn't be a big deal, but he can't do it. But
Right.
that dog can. And what a game changer.
Yes. And if he has a medical issue that, for whatever reason, he needs medicine that's in the refrigerator, or he needs the bottle of water for something like that, and the dog knows. The dog is trained to, I think, I don't want to say vibes, but actually understand the chemicals that your body is producing if you're starting to have a seizure.
It's
And
amazing.
alert you to get in a safe position so that when you have your seizure, you're not going to like topple over and hit your head or whatever. So
Yeah, it's so impressive what can be done and how many lives have been enhanced by that. And military dogs. Actually, a guy I worked with up until about a year ago at the university. That was when he was in the military. That was his job. He was a dog handler, and I know there's only really one day that he really was telling me stories about what they all did, and he couldn't get a binder of all the information and some pictures and training logs. I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea how intensive that all is. But yeah, I think their job was to find the hidden bombs that nobody could find. It's like, oh my gosh, how can that be your job? But the dog was perfect. There was only once that they found one, but I tell you, they found it.
Yeah.
And oh
I'm
my
going
gosh,
to say hi to my friend Debbie Miller, and then I need to get on to a different meeting. So, hi, Debbie Miller.
I've got two Debbies in the house. Oh my
Yay.
gosh, this is
Hey, Debbie Hayes, it's been
All right.
good to see you. I haven't seen you forever.
I
it
know.
has
It's been a while.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Miss Debbie Hayes, I know, is on our way out. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I get to play a little bit of ping pong here with my Debbies. I love it. So, Debbie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will be in touch, and we hope to have you back soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. See ya.
Uh-huh.
Bye, Deb.
Bye-bye, Debbie.
And the wonderful Debbie Miller is joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing well considering we have tons of snow in case you need any. I would love to send you some.
How much did you get?
Somewhere between 10 and 12 inches on top
Oh
of
my
some
goodness.
ice.
That's not some.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And the
Oh my,
fun thing is that the next 3 nights, the temperature is going to be below zero. And that they think that I think next Monday or Tuesday, the temperature on the daytime is supposed to actually get to 32. Finally.
warming
So
up.
we're going to have snow for a while. So I
Wow.
could pack up some, I'm sure, and send it to you.
Oh, it's kind of funny because we're way north of you. We should have that right now, not you.
I know. I don't know what the deal is, but
Oh my goodness.
the storm, I guess, got a little confused. So anyway,
Too busy partying for New Year and got turned around, maybe.
I guess so. So
Oh,
how are you
that's
enjoying your time off from school? Are you staying? I know you're staying busy.
oh yeah.
Lots of
It's been wonderful to have some time off. And today I had to go back. I love my job, but boy, was it nice to have a break.
oh wow, today. We have a
Yeah,
lot
so
of school
students are
kids
not
who are
there.
supposed to go back today as well, and they're not going back tomorrow either. So
How long does it take? Okay, so for those who don't know where you're located, where are you located?
I am in Kansas City, Missouri. So we have a lot of snow. My one of my sons and his family live about an hour north of us, and they even got more snow, and they are loving it. They've actually gone to Colorado for Christmas a few times to enjoy the snow that we don't typically have during Christmas, and so. But
Except this
so
year?
they're totally enjoying the cold temperatures and the snow. So anyway, um,
Wow.
I Southern Illinois might be getting this snowstorm. So hopefully Project Die Hard is not going to have to put up with too much. I mean, literally, my son and two grown grandsons dug out just a driveway and a path to get to the driveway when I get the car out tomorrow. So
Wow.
um, for Project Die Hard, I'm sure with their facilities there, they would need a lot of strong people to come and help dig it out. Fortunately, it is powdery at this point, so
That
not good
helps.
for snowman production. But I mean, Christmas is over, so I'm done with winter. So
I know we have that short season of if it could be nice, white, beautiful, fresh, clean, all that for a week.
yeah,
That's perfect, right?
right. And
Some
then
people, the downhill skiers around here though would disagree.
yes, I have some family that would disagree. And then I'm ready, now I'm ready. I'm counting down spring, and I know it's like 70, I don't know, 75 days or so until spring. So The
Ooh.
snow is
Ooh.
ready to get out of here. And by then, I mean, right now your lakes aren't frozen, but by then the lakes will be slightly warmed up and ready for skiing.
I hope so. I'm always hoping that they warm up a little on the early side because May sometimes is dang chilly yet.
Yeah, I know the lakes in northern Wisconsin that are close to my husband's family don't really ever get warm, you know. That's kind of the fun thing about taking new grandchildren that haven't been there. Now they've all been there, so they all know that you really don't want to go swimming in the lakes up there unless you're actually mentally prepared for the cold because it's going to be
That's
cold. I mean, it can be August, middle of August, and if as long as the green slime stuff isn't there, the water's still not warm.
yeah. I
So
remember a river that we would go inner tubing down. If you've ever been in an inner tube, like a big tractor tire style kind of inner tube, floating just literally floating down the river.
oh
We used to do
wow,
that growing up, and the river that we would do that on though, dang icy. Half the fun was watching everybody getting in because once you're in, you're okay. But oh my gosh, that was a shock. Such a shock to the system.
yeah,
It's like really we want to do this. It's got to be a warm enough day. Bacon on the
seriously,
top
yes,
and cold on the bottom.
yes. Well, I actually some of the people around here were doing ice baths during this blizzard yesterday, and I'm like, seriously, why would you do that?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Still
not
can't
me.
do.
I'm not. I was so it helps with inflammation. I'm like, no, it is. I don't care. That is just crazy. So
Yeah, I'm
maybe
those
so.
who enjoy
Anyway,
that, I will leave that to them. I do want to give you a chance to tell everybody a little bit about what you do. If you want to share some of your background here with us, that would be wonderful.
all right. Thank you. I am Debbie Miller with Legal Shield and ID Shield, and one of the big reasons that we were interested in it was because when our kids were young, we thought we should have had a will, but we didn't have a clue what that included. Didn't have know an attorney at all, but we did know, without actually knowing, that was going to cost a ton of money, which we didn't have, and so we just decided, oh well, I guess the state will take care of it, and that is just really the wrong answer. Then it's still the wrong answer today. And so when we were introduced to Legal Shield, where for a little over $1 a day, we could actually write our will and have it updated next year if we had more children, we had, for us now, grandchildren, uh, changed homes and whatever kind of thing we changed. We could update it and keep it updated all the time. When my mother in law had to update her will, which she was totally shocked that she needed to do when dad died, she was charged $3,000 to get his name off of her will in 3 places. And so that helped to even remind me that, okay, not just, you don't do it just once, but you need to have it. So, for whatever kind of changes you need to do to keep it updated, the will is not the only thing that we do, but it is such a big deal that everybody needs. If you're 18 years old and you have anything, a PlayStation, Xbox, a car, whatever that is, you need to be the one deciding what you're doing. Who's going to get it if you don't need it anymore? So, we do all kinds of legal things and identity protection, and we keep it really reasonable. So that's what I'm here, and we help everybody at $1 a day and $1 a day with our ID protection. So it's really important to get the word out. So sorry, we
Something
probably
people
need to.
don't. It's not something people think about every day. So I'm glad you're here to help keep that thought at the top of mind because that is important. And when things change, you do need to update.
Right, yeah, and don't be shocked when it's you find out that, oh yeah, I have to do that, really. No, yeah. So I want to
Excellent.
keep that in people, get that out to everybody. So thank you for this time.
Excellent. Well, and I see Kurt's in the background here as well. I want to get him to come on in so he can say hello as well. Hey, Kurt, how are you?
Things are going good. We've had quite a day today. I was able to make a few different alignable events, and so a lot of people learned about Project DieHard today and cultivating a lot of interests. And so I've been able to explain to people how we go for ministry partners, resource partners, community partners, and all sorts of partnerships to say we'll figure out any way to get people involved and to do this together. All hands on deck initiative, telling about Project DieHard or I'm sorry, I mean Hopestock, telling about Hopestock
Mhm.
for in July. So yeah, it's been quite a day of it in this ambassadorship for Project DieHard here.
Awesome. So, and you mentioned Hopestock. It's always it's the last weekend in July. So July 25th through the 27th this year, and at Fob Rush in Paducah, not in Paducah, in McAnda, Illinois. Sorry, rolled off my tongue wrong. Uh, those are two places we mention often, but yeah, it's in McAnda, Illinois, and there's some really good things brewing with what's going to be coming for Hopestock, at Hopestock, all oh my gosh. And I am not able to say details just yet because I've only been given those little tease pieces as well. When they all come together, this is where you're going to hear about it because this is our Mission Monday update. And as new things are happening, this is where you're going to hear about it. So that will be coming soon. I know the plan was right after the first of the year that was going to get hit hard and heavy, and it's officially after the first of the year, so much more to come. And actually,
Awesome.
if anyone's out there that loves events as much as I do, you might want to get on board, and this could be a fun way to get involved. Event planning, doing all the back behind the scenes things and what's going to be taking place at the event. Yeah, you want a front row seat for everything that's happening? Get involved. And if you want to reach out, you can always do that right there. Susan at projectdiehard.org. Same goes for Kurt at projectdiehard.org. Or if you are wanting to reach out and ask about volunteering, that's another. I mean, you can reach us directly, but if you want to just generically go to the volunteer at projectdiehard.org, there's all sorts of ways to reach us. You just gotta take that moment and say, "Yep, I think I can." Let's talk. It's not like you send it and all of a sudden you're committed. It's let's start that conversation and see how it might work out. So that's an open invitation and it's always there. So I
Awesome.
I do have a few things. I know that Brian is not here tonight, and he had some things he was going to share. Some of it is on Facebook, so I could bring that up unless there was something else you guys wanted to hit before I do that. Kurt, did you have anything else right now? He might be frozen. He hasn't moved. Oh, he did freeze up. He popped right off the screen. Oh, on and off. He's back. I think he's back. There. Oh, gosh darn. I bet he and I both hit the little button at the same time. There it is. Funny how that
It's like
works.
it's like a little game. We have a little game we play here at Mission Monday. So one thing that we can say, folks, is Sue and I met Debbie through the Happy Neighborhood Project, which is the same place we met Brian Gibson. And Debbie runs an event at the Happy Neighborhood Project.
Ooh.
And so one thing that we can do with our veterans is to make sure they're aware of nice little places that if they're a veteran-owned business, that they can show up at Debbie's event. So you want to share the event you do at the Happy Neighborhood Project, Debbie?
Sure. That's a Saturday event at 11 o'clock Central Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. But everyone's welcome to come and share their business. If they're looking for a business, that'll work too. So it's a great time to learn some fun stuff and also to collaborate, make some connections to help build your organization and just to get established, make those relationships grow. So we'd love to have you every Saturday. So
And what is the link for
come join
that one?
us.
I know it's gobrunch.com / what is the weekend one?
HNP weekend.
HMP
Pretty
weekend. Okay.
easy.
I'm going to put that in the chat. So hang tight here while I get that
Perfect.
entered
Thank
in.
you. So
Yeah.
we'd love
So
to have.
go ahead, Debbie.
No, I would just say we'd love to have a lot of people join us. It's a great time to meet people and learn. We learn some new things every once in a while, so it's a good time.
Yeah, so the great thing about the Happy Neighbor Project, I got attracted to it August 2020. Edwin, the Chief Happiness Officer, is recognized by the United Nations for his work spreading happiness around the world. So we're bringing that into our messaging, today, because if we can spread happiness to our veterans, we're all about it, right?
That's right. We need.
As
I'm
Deb
sure our
said,
veterans, everybody needs just have some happiness added to their year. So, but our veterans especially, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. So, thank you for what you guys do to get your message out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's a reciprocal relationship, because we all also empower veterans by, checking in and see if they want to play any role in what we do. Like at the Happy Neighborhood Project, we had a meeting going by some veterans, and it naturally was called HMP Supporting Veterans, and so there's all different ways that we can have that outreach and service, for veterans, but also to make it about doing things with veterans, because for some odd reason, veterans tend to be kind of a forgotten demographic, for a lot of things we do. There's that time where we're coming around to veterans things like Veterans Day and stuff like that, but so that's a little bit of the work I tried to take on as ambassador is to say, for everything we do all day long, every day, are we thinking about how we're reaching our veterans for that thing? Especially the fun things. Like we
Right.
can talk about water skiing here and stuff like that, but whether it's snow ski season, are we finding our veterans hitting the ski slopes or snowmobiling, or what are our veterans doing, and are there things that we can do to help veterans be more involved in our sports and recreation, hobbies, pastime, leisure activities. And that's a little bit of what the grounds in Southern Illinois, at McCann, Illinois, are all about. To have a nice retreat center. The 20 acres is really nice because veterans can come out there and get into the greenscapes and, get away. And Brian describes it like an area like McCanda is those rural areas tend to be a service desert, which means it's kind of, an interesting geographical reality is that it's nice for veterans to get out in those spaces to get away, but then they're also getting away from services they need. So that's what Project Die Hard is adding into our operation, is to bridge that gap, to deploy ample veteran services. Hopefully, we can spur a dynamic that we're improving how it's deployed to all rural areas all across the country and start a trend around the world. Wouldn't that be exciting to really get people realizing that advocacy, that, to realize that if a veteran is standing in a rural area, all of a sudden that veteran is darn far away from the services they need. So we got to change that.
Mhm.
So here we go. Project Die Hard. Here we go.
Awesome. And they have places for, they're working on having places for single veterans, but also for families, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when there's a 10,000 square foot building on the property, and the remodeling is still taking place. So hint, hint, anyone out there that enjoys that kind of thing, we could use some help and some funds, both needed right now to make that happen. But there will be room for a dozen veterans to be able to stay there, and room with 2 of them being families. So it's amazing. There's a kitchen there. There's a gathering space. That part's already in place. That's done and ready and open to the public. Basically, if there's a group out there that is looking for a place to have a meeting, if you're veteran related, please, please, please consider using the facility there. The more people that get there and feet on the ground and eyeballs on the place, the more people are going to know about it faster. Because I've heard reaction from others from the first time they set their foot on the property that it's like this. It's just a wonderful place to be. So I haven't been there yet. I want to go to be able to have that experience myself, where I can walk on the property and actually get to enjoy that as well. So it's coming. Hope stock, right?
Yes.
Hint, hint. We got to make plans to get down there. So everybody is welcome to join in that, because that's going to be that's going to be a time and a place to gather. So looking forward to
awesome.
that. So I should bring up a few things here that are taking place or have come up from this last week. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen briefly here. So this is, go over to, of course, it popped to something else. So Project Die Hard, here we go. If you are not familiar with the Project Die Hard website on Facebook, here it is, facebook.com/Project Die Hard 22. You can just type that in or search Facebook for Project Die Hard. It's not too hard to find. Currently 3,400 followers, which is amazing. It's wonderful. We need more, because the more people that know about it, the more that can happen. And I've said this for a long time. We do not want to be the best kept secret out there. We want everybody to know, when they hear Project Die Hard mentioned anywhere, that they know what it is. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of the recent posts on here, because this does hit a lot of what Brian was planning to cover tonight. Doing their part to help. Together, everyone accomplishes more. It's just a fact. The bigger the team, the more that can happen. The more you support, the more they can do, they being the team. And yes, we are part of the team. We're looking to grow the team. But only the best will do for the heroes that we serve. We do want to bring in more people, more organizations, more partners, more. We need more. More's kind of the key here. That's what's needed. And oh my gosh, I didn't like this post yet. We gotta fix that. Fix it. You know what? If you want to know how to help get this organization known, first of all, go to the Facebook page and like it. And then when you see stuff like this, how hard is it to click a button and show you're putting an emoji on there? By hitting that share button and sharing it out to your site, to your page, to your group, to your whatever you've got. It's really easy, and it will help grow the mission. So these two things help to bring hope to heroes and grow God's kingdom. We have our community support program and facilities program here. So there's all sorts of ways to become involved. We are looking for patrons. We're looking for volunteers and more community members to join the support programs that currently exist. And you can see some logos listed there from organizations that have come on board. And we are looking to make it so that it's not just going to be a line item on here. It's going to be like the whole page and then some. So forward operating base rush, what is it going to take to complete this? We need financial support. I know one number that has been coming up over and over, $22 a month is something that would be a game changer. We started a while back saying we need 100 people, organizations, 100, whatever it is, to pledge and to donate $22 a month. Some have stepped up. We're down to, as of this morning, we are looking for 86 more. Once we get to that point, that will just be enough to cover the fellowship breakfast and the operating costs that already are in place now. Because having a 20-acre property with a 10,000 square foot building comes with a cost. It takes money to actually heat the place and to keep the lights on and all that. It's pretty important, and we are actually financially that's going to make a big difference when we can meet those needs. So here we go. We're just talking about 12 single veterans and 2 families. Once this the forward operating base rush, once that location is completed, we will be able to house that many people in that facility. The average monthly cost for a single person in the United States, $3,693. This includes expenses such as rent, housing, food, utilities, all that. But no veteran's ever going to be charged for our support. So anybody who stays there, they don't have to pay. This is something where when people come to the facility, it's because there is a need, right? So what we're going to be able to offer them is a place to stay, skills training, counseling, therapy. We have partners in place that are looking to help and that are available and have come on board. And this is the picture. This is what we are looking to do and offer and make happen. And for that to be a reality, it's coming very soon. Like I said, though, there's still a lot of actual work to be done to complete the walls and the plumbing and the things we need, right? There's some pieces that need to take place, and it's right here at our fingertips. So we need some help to make those pieces come together and be done. Because once that's done, oh my gosh, the difference that we can make will all of a sudden skyrocket. We're making a difference already, but for that to be an opportunity for our veterans to be able to come and take advantage of what that offering is, that will be a game changer. Brian's told us he's had to turn people away. There have been people that have stepped forward and said, "Hey, I'm looking, this is what I need right now." And with it not being completed, he's had to say, "I'm sorry, but we can help you in these ways, but that is not where we're at yet. We're headed there." So please share this out, share the mission, let people know what we're doing. So that is the update that I am sharing here from this past week and on Brian's behalf. And I know he would have had more pieces to add in there, but we have to come back next week for the rest of that. So
Awesome.
yeah, and at the end of every show, we always do share a message of hope to our veterans. But before we get that far, I just want to make sure we have a chance to. I don't want. I want to make sure you guys have a chance to share what's on your minds and on your hearts here this evening. So, Kurt, I don't know if you had other things that I know you said you've been talking about the mission a lot today. So did you have any other stories to share at this point?
Yeah, I do want to do that. And I also want to add in our development. I don't think you talked to it before I got here about that we do have someone who is connecting to our facility to play an active role in the day-to-day operations in terms of upkeep and a little bit of a not really like a site manager, but somebody who's gonna come in and kind of job carve a role for himself, and and then also take advantage of what we can provide because he's a veteran in need. So an interesting staffing opportunity, and then to have a veteran that our mission is meant to serve, and win-win relationship there. So it looks like we've got a great person that has been sent to us to really put our mission not really to the test, but just kind of have a person that can nicely give us perspective and input and join our team here and be with the facility on a daily basis. And so so that's a little news here, right?
I did
You didn't
not
cover
cover
that
that
all
part.
earlier, did you?
It's huge. I didn't know if I should leave that for
Yeah,
Brian to say next week, but I'm happy that you brought it up, though.
yeah, well, it's a big enough deal that there's definitely a lot of zeal and flair, and yeah, the additional stuff that Brian will be able to add to it. It'll be great to bring it right back in, and for folks who didn't catch this show, kind of come in again with a zing bang boom, and wow, big news again. And again to talk about the the meetings I attend to share our mission at Project Die Hard. It is very encouraging to hear these stories. It's just amazing when I share, I'm here with Project Die Hard, and then all of a sudden you hear about a family story, or, you hear about someone who's deceased, not due to suicide, but just, lifespan, ending for other reasons. And then, but they did have a definite story to tell about how they were struggling psychologically, mental wellness, and, had their battles, but not a story ending in suicide, but just people expressing their interest. Basically, I'm getting a lot of compliments on behalf of the mission, and people like, adoring what I'm doing and thanking me, and, all this kind of stuff. So I just want to make sure that people understand that this mission of hope here, is definitely attracting support and conversational, accent to that we're on the right track here. I got a referral to another veteran service organization today. So, that's the other part that we're building up to, really not really stake our claim, but really to build that awareness, kind of like Santa Papa John is doing, that directory that we're a part of. And he's been talking again on other sessions with other groups about how he's addressing the issue with meetings that could be of service to veterans, which with us being Santa approved and everything, we'll be working cooperatively with Santa Papa John on this. But the idea is he went on there to say, okay, I'm a veteran and I want to go into a meeting that is structured in a way that they're facilitating it with me in mind as a veteran. He did all these searches. He couldn't find a thing, to really serve that. Like, say, a veteran owned business, or, even veteran support groups, or this and that. So we're really seeing the dynamic that, that the veteran space is really structured to, you set up shop and you're just doing one at a time, that organic growth, and you're just building it that way. And it's these veterans have to be invited in this way. It's all direct invitations. So Santa Papa John is really taking a great perspective to say, what if a veteran's trying to take a do-it-yourself approach? Veteran services are not set up that way to be that handy. But again, with our organization, that is exactly what we're aiming to do. So being partnered with Santa Papa John and all of our other partners and everything, this is looking to really spiral out into something pretty fantastic. So, what our Heavenly Creator has in mind for us the next 6 months, we're all in this to find out together, but keep praying for us every day, and, share out what we're doing here, share this podcast, and consider, when you might have some time to share with us, maybe even being on the show. And also, we got to make sure that everybody is thinking of us as that nonprofit, always looking for funds, and that $22 a month program. Really hoping we can get some more outreach and more response to our patron program. So with that, Sue, back to you.
Excellent. And I did put our website up on the screen there again, so that anyone who hasn't been there yet, oh my gosh, go to the website, go check it out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, all those things, and you'll be able to stay in tune with what's all happening. So Debbie, and I know the military is close to you. You've got a family member who has been serving recently. So I don't know if you want to touch on that at all, and how how that affects the family dynamics and whatnot when it comes to holidays. And I don't know if your family member is back for good now, or is looking for further deployment. Or...
I do not know about that part. I do know he's home finally. He was a little bit late coming home, but he's here. We got here before Christmas, so that's always good. Missed two daughter birthdays and his own birthday while he was deployed, but that is the I mean, that's what it costs to for the family to support our country. And obviously, we have a lot of our veterans that need support and aren't getting it, and we totally have to find those people to support them and keep them protected, and not necessarily protected, but at least surrounded with whatever it is they do need, whether it's physical help, mental help, just a place to crash and regroup would be an awesome thing. So I'm excited to see your properties come together and get all ready for those people to come and enjoy it. So this is great. I know my son actually is still enjoying some time off before he needs to go back. Well, he was supposed to go back today, but of course our weather kind of changed that. His base was actually closed today. I don't think they could. They don't have their airport actually cleaned up. The airport was closed, so therefore, basically, the base was closed. So,
Wow.
but there's a lot of things that are affected with our military. That I mean, even as close as I am to the whole military thing, a lot of family members don't have a clue about a lot of the other things that are actually happening. So I know that a lot of what Brian is working on from his perspective, he knows exactly a lot better that what all needs to be happening. And I'm sure even when he gets done, they'll come up with a couple other things. So there's going to always be a need for more volunteers, more help. So we got to get the word out now with this part and then move on to the next. So thank you for your help here.
Excellent. Well, and I'm gonna go around one more time here with closing. If you have any other final thoughts, and also a message of hope for our veterans. Kurt, I'll start with you.
Well, I guess, you know, the outreach to all of you out there that are vets and, maybe dealing with this demon of suicide ideation and everything, you know, I guess I'll say my hope is, is that my volunteering here and, hearing Brian's story and coming in and committing, the last over 2 years that I've known Brian and hopping in this mission, and you see Sue here and Debbie here, and we had Debbie Hayes here, and that you see that people are responding, that, hopefully that can be, that beacon of hope, like Santa Papa John's Warrior Beacon of Hope website, that, we are stirring up a response for you. And, so I hope that's something that can, kind of have a spark or a glimmer of light, and, something that, is some element of encouragement or whatever it may be, and just having that meaningfulness to you, that there are people are out here that recognize, I guess I might say it, that I would say, like, I let you down, we let you down. And, so if you can please give us time to do our thing, and to have this in winter time here, we can call it a snowball effect, and allow this to grow, and, to keep with us, to, stay tuned to what we have in store for you, what our Heavenly Father has in store for you, our universe, and just everything out there. There's so much that is unfinished business. And I'd like to propose, for me, you play a role in this unfinished business. So we hope you stick in there for us to really see what, is yet to bloom in your life. Back to you, Sue.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to pass the baton over to Debbie to go next.
Well, I just want to add that hold on, keep looking for the hope that you need, because we're working on it, and I'm here to help at least expand and share your message so that there's hope for you, and we're here to help. Thanks, Sue. Back to you.
Much for joining us tonight, Debbie. My word tonight is it's a new year. I know that can be for a lot of people an exciting time, but not necessarily for everyone. And I know because it's like, oh my gosh, is this year going to be like last year? Everybody's in a different place, and where you're at, wherever that is, it's okay. It's where you're at. And that means tomorrow we get to do another thing. And the next day we get to look forward to another thing. And for me right now, this is an awesome time of year to just sit back, think of how things have gone. What do I want to do more or different? Or how do I want to approach this upcoming time? I hope that you can relate to that and find where your direction is. And if you're struggling to figure out what that is, that's what we're here for. Reach out. Project Die Hard is here to help support you in wherever you're at and meet you wherever you're at. So that it's a, like you're saying, the beacon of hope. That phrase kind of rings perfectly with this and where my mind is right now. And I appreciate that very much. So we are here to give updates every Monday night. If you're out there and are saying, "Hey, I've got an idea," reach out. Please join the team in whatever fashion that may be. It can be reached Susan@projectdiehard.org. Reach out and let us know what's on your mind. So we will be back next week, same time, same place. And until then, we absolutely give you all of our thanks. Bye for now.